Hello!
Hello!
Welcome to video number 3.
Number 3.
Of our video diary. Last one, Pip interviewed me to give a little bit of background on me. Today I thought his questions were so good, I'm going to steal them and ask them back to you.
Okay.
Brilliant. So, how did it all start for Pip Kennedy?
Okay, so that's rabbits, just in case you're worried about it. There's very odd movements going on. There's one of them drinking water as well, or trying to. There's not a lot in there. So, how did I start magic? I started magic when I was a kid. It's one of the oldest stories. A lot of magicians start when they're a kid. I was 3 years old, and I had a trick where you put your finger into this little plastic thing and you put the blade down and it goes through a finger like a little guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
And so at the age of 3 I said to my grandma, can I show you a trick? And she said yes, and so put your finger in here, and she was a little bit wary about it, but she did actually do it, and I successfully completed the trick without hurting her, and for the rest of her life, in actual fact, she kept asking me when I was going to get a proper job, which you get quite a bit when you're a magician. Also, when I was at school, at primary school, in Mrs. Grimes's class, we had book week, and she gave out a list of books that you could choose from. You had to choose a book, you had to take it home, tell your parents that you needed some money. This was 50p in this case, when I got it.
Wow.
I think I would have been about 6 or 7, I guess, around that sort of age. And the book I chose, I still have. This is it. This is the very first magic book I ever got. It's called Tricks and Magic. Learn about Tricks and Magic, a Ladybird book. And this is what sort of fired my imagination and made me want to do magic.
So were you one of those kids that learnt everything in there and showed everyone all the time?
Yeah.
Or?
And then I ran out because it's not a big book. There was not a lot on there, so I had to go to the library and I had to get the books out from the library.
And what was next?
Well, after the library.
You know, what books were next after
Oh,
that?
I see. I borrowed one from the library called The Royal Road to Card Magic, and
well.
I do believe my mum received a call from the library saying, could we please have it back? You've had it for 7 months and other people are wanting to take it out. So we had to take it back, which was a shame. My grandma, funnily enough, was right opposite the library, so she used to sort of go in and say, he'd like to take it out for a bit longer please, and they said okay, and just updated their files, which was really nice.
So so here you are.
Here I am.
Here you are, magicking away, full-time magician.
Yes.
Favourite magic trick to watch?
Okay.
Effect, I should say.
There's lots. I quite like watching big illusions, because I don't really have the sort of physique to do big illusions in a sort of suave and sophisticated manner, so it would be a different style for me. So I quite like watching this. There's one particular illusion I really like, which is where you have a box that an assistant gets into, and it's got like a pivot point in the middle, and you pivot it so it now looks like a T shape.
Okay, so they're
the
lying
box
down.
is on the top, and they're then lying down.
Yep.
And then the magician takes blades and puts blades in. They're sort of double blades like that. So you put the blades in all the way along, and then you grab the ends and you pull, and the whole bit extends. So you've got blocks, block, 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 with gaps all the way through the middle, which I always think is very magical. It's actually quite an old illusion now, but I always think it's very magical.
I've seen it recently. My head's going into a spin. I've seen it recently. Excellent trick.
Yeah, it's a good trick.
Any others?
What do I like watching? I like watching magic I haven't seen before. So something new that, because it makes me feel like a muggle.
And how often does that happen?
Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Muggle, yeah.
No,
So it makes me feel like a muggle. It makes me feel like I can experience magic for the first time again.
And how often does that happen now?
It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, it's a shame that.
It is.
Well, you've been around it. The whole that is to get.
Yeah.
So when you're out performing, what's the favourite thing you do?
I really like performing my rubber band magic. I'm sort of quite well known for that.
Probably
now.
how you're best known, I would say.
Yeah, the rubber band boy.
if you ever get a chance to see Pip lecture rubber band magic, it's phenomenal. Really good.
Thank you.
That's a pleasure.
That's really kind. So yeah, I think I enjoy performing that.
And I think we should get you doing some rubber band magic, seeing as you got me.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that. So there we go. Again, if you want to see my favourite trick to perform, leave a comment and we'll do it. If we get enough comments, we'll do it, won't we?
If we get enough.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, influences.
How many is enough?
I
don't know. Influences. Okay. So I grew up in an age where Paul Daniels was on television every week.
Me too.
So his sort of style was how I saw a magician, because as a kid growing up, that was pretty much all I saw.
So you didn't see David Nixon?
No, David Nixon was before my time. Okay. I did see Wayne Dobson.
Yeah, I remember Wayne.
Wayne Dobson was on television for a short while as well, so I saw that. But you know, the comedy magician patter act, as we call it, where people talk to perform, is pretty much what I grew up watching, and that's pretty much what I do. So it's funny, isn't it, how you sort of your experience, or your limited experience of watching one particular performer or two performers that do similar things, sort of mould you into the person that you become.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your style.
No, it's natural.
It also suits my style, because I like a bit of comedy. I like to be a bit of, bit of fun. So that suits me perfectly.
Perfect. Proudest thing you've ever done? Your proudest moment?
So, you mentioned in your video joining the Magic Circle was one of your proudest moments. For me, I was. That was also a proud moment for me to join the Magic Circle. But even more proud is to get the next level up, which is called the Associate of the Inner Magic Circle, which I know you're going to be going for before the end of the year. So I did that. To get that, you have to audition. Examine. It was an audition though, to become an extra level, in front of magicians. And when I did it, it used to be the whole of the Magic Circle that used to come along to a meeting on a Monday night, which was around about 200 people. So a lot different to how it is now.
Well, not the whole of the Magic Circle, but everyone who could make it.
You get about 40 people maybe watching now, but at the time I did it, it was about 200 people, and I was sitting there and I was looking in the front row, and there was people like Ali Bongo, who was on the David Nixon show. He was one of the advisors for the Paul Daniels show. There was David Burgess, you mentioned earlier, who at the time was the president of the Magic Circle. There were other prominent magicians there that I was thinking to myself, okay, so I'm going to do the trick that person there invented. I'm going to do a trick that person did on TV. And I just so nerve-wracking. Doing magic in front of magicians.
But you got it first go?
I got it first go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, really proud. So that was my proudest moment in magic.
And most unusual job or moment?
So there's lots, but if I was to pick one, it's performing at an army barracks. This was the most scary and unusual job I've ever done. So I turned up. The idea was it was a dinner dance for the army people and their families. So, well, I say families and their wives. And they were all getting dressed up, tuxedos and everything else. And if you can imagine sort of army people in tuxedos, that's not their normal garb, if you like. But I turned up at the gate. The gate opened, and this man with a big machine gun was standing there in front of my car, and he said, "Get out of the car, park it over there." So it's like, not in that order though. He said, "Park it over there, get out of the car." So, okay. So I did exactly what he said, got out, went over to him, and he had his hands on the machine gun the whole time. It's not like it was just hanging there. You know, he had his hand. He's going, "Right, what do you want?" I was going, "Well, I'm the magician for the dinner dance." He said, "Right, you need to go and see the corporal. He's in the building here." So it's like I had to go in there. Had to take your passport. You have to show them, prove to them who you are. You have to stand up against this board height chart thing, and they take your photo.
Do they do the mirrors under the car and all of that?
They did the mirrors under the car.
Yeah.
And actually, the sergeant who was sort of, I think they called a sergeant, who was actually processing me, if you like, looked at me, big guy, big burly guy, and he said, "So, what are you here for?" And I said to him, "Well, I'm here to do some magic for the for the army for their dinner dance, and he looked at me with a straight face and he went, "That sounds like fun." And that's how it's like.
So you didn't get show us a trick?
No, it's like that sounds like. I think he was quite pleased he was going to be there and not in watching everything else. So that was a really weird and strange beginning to a job.
And was it like that when you got in there, or was it? Right.
No, they were lovely. They were really nice. Yeah, it's when you get the introduction. Right, this is Pip. He's going to entertain you. Be nice to him. Great, yeah, fantastic. What an introduction.
Yeah. And so Pip and Paul.
Yes.
What excites? So what? Yeah, what turns you on about that? What excites you about Pip and Paul?
I think the main thing is working with someone else, because magic is a very lonely profession normally. Well, you do
Just
one-off jobs. It's you and your rabbit, and you go and do jobs here. You go do jobs there, and you're driving in the car on your own, and it's a very lonely existence, very very lonely job. Even though it's a very sociable job, because you're performing at events and parties, it's actually a lonely job to do. So I think being able to do shows with another entertainer that is of the same sort of level as I'd like to think I am, so that you can sort of bounce off each other, you can perform and make what you do better all the time, but also having that sort of chat between you, so you can actually come up with ideas and increase it, and every time you perform it gets better and better and better.
Actually, that's gone quite well so far, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So we haven't done much on the act so far, but the things we have done actually are shaping up well, and I think that'll be in a couple of videos' time.
Yep.
We've got a plan.
We have a plan. So that's it.
Very good.
That's me. Leave comments below.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. It's very kind of you.
Please subscribe if you haven't already.
Just here.
It's just there.
Yeah.
Have to make up. Our social media buttons are down here.
Down there.
Please comment. Let us know what you'd like us to talk about. This is video number 3. This has been fun so far.
Yeah, it has.
I don't know how regularly we're going to do
Hopefully
it.
you're enjoying it as well.
Again, let us know. Too long, too short, too chatty, more action. Let us know. Until then,
It's goodbye from Pip.
and it's goodbye from Paul.
Bye.
Bye.